Hello!
Hi!
I don't know why I always do the up hand.
I kind of like it. Hello.
Hello.
We're so bad at facial expressions. All the videos I've been watching, we're all like the entire time. So it's...
Alrighty guys, today we're going to be talking about NYU. So we're going to be telling you like our biggest pros of NYU, and as well as giving you some cons, so you have like realistic expectations when you come here, or if you decide to come here.
But you should.
If you have, or if you have no interest, just listen.
I feel like a lot of videos I see about NYU or colleges in general, I don't know if they're sponsored or they're trying to get that
NYU.
But I feel like
call that my personal YouTube.
Yeah, Sarah. I feel like you're just so like positive, and I feel like as someone applying to schools, like, I want to know the negatives so I'm like prepared for it. And I think one thing that not to like toot our own toot horn, but I feel like what's unique about having all of us here to talk about this subject is that we all have such different backgrounds and thus different experiences at NYU that our backgrounds inform, or vice versa. So I'm talking about that. So I feel like having us all here to talk about our different perspectives is going to be pretty insightful for some people.
And also, like, we're all like best friends, but also like we weren't all friends like freshman year, so we had like different experiences to talk about, and we all have like other friends and stuff, and like other like different like years. We all have different majors, we're in different schools. Like, Claudia, you're in CAS, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm always so
We're
confused.
in the same school.
So they and Claudia are in CAS, and Sarah and Sunir in Steinhardt, so we have like different perspectives on that.
I've been at almost every school at NYU, so I
love that for you.
Yeah.
So my biggest pro of NYU is 100% the fact, and this is, I think it actually might be my biggest pro and biggest con, because when I got here, I kind of thought that like high school, I would be kind of have a hand to hold along the path. You know, like I thought I'd be given all the courses that I needed to take, all of the extracurriculars that I needed to invest in, and all of these internships that I needed to apply to, when in reality, my advisor doesn't do shit. My advisor hates me. In fact, I firmly believe, because whenever I email her, she ghosts me, and I'm like, are you Chad from a frat? No. And then the website that we have to choose our classes is also shit. So it's not only don't we have humans on our side, it's like the website's not even on our side. And and the internships that like our major coordinator sends out to us, they're all unpaid. They all sound so bad.
Damn.
However, the reason this is a pro, because it sounds like a con so far, the reason why this is a pro is because it kind of forced me, because I'm an only child, I was spoiled growing up, I admit it, it kind of forced me to kind of like really be an adult and kind of like choose my career path and choose what I have to do. Like I have like 4 jobs right now, and like all of them I kind of got myself, so it kind of gave me a lot of self-confidence in that way.
See, interesting. Because we're in the same major, but I have the exact opposite experience because I'm one of 4 kids. And I'm the superior of the kids, so I'm used to being extremely independent. Like I could not tell you my advisor's name if you held a L-shaped weapon to my head and said, "Who's your advisor?" I'd be like,
I don't know who she is.
So like everything I've done, internship wise, class wise, major wise, I changed majors like 4 times, and I had no advising on any of it. Everything I did on my own, from my own research, from my own whatever, because I've never had someone hold my hand for anything. Because like high school, family life, whatever, I've always been extremely independent. So for me, it was kind of a continuation of that. But my pro, since I'm just going to segue into it, I think that coming from a school in the South, it was extremely nice to come to a diverse campus. And I don't mean diverse solely in the sense that people are like different races or from different countries, but diversity in like background and experience in the way that we think and things that we're interested in. Because like all my friends and I, of course, we all get along here, like we're the best of friends. We have such different personalities and things that we enjoy and things like that. So I like diversity in that sense, because I feel like being in such a big city, it's nice to have people who push you to do different things, you know?
Yeah. I think for me, I wish I actually had more of like that helping hand, because like it was hard to like figure it out myself, because like I don't just have like in CAS, it's like different I think than Steinhardt, because like I have like a major advisor, I have a minor advisor, and then I have like my overall like pre-law advisor. And so I have to run around from advisor to advisor to just try to figure out one singular class, like to figure out my specialization, whatever. And like it gets mixed up. Like I had like these like classes I took abroad where they're like, they don't count for your major, and I was like, wait, but I validated them with you. I was like, so what? So it like does get difficult, and I wish like the advisors, it was like easier to be like more one-on-one. Like they do know who you are, but like you need to try, like you need to show up there, you need to like put an effort. Like I couldn't even meet my advisor before like my classes, like enrolling in them.
Really?
It's all about proactivity here, for sure.
It was like completely filled. I went a month in advance, and she's like, sorry, you're gonna have to wait until after you sign up for your classes. And I'm like, that defeats the purpose.
See, I have 3 too, but I put them all in one email because I don't know their names. I'm like, hey girlies, so here's the dealio, send back your responses. 2 months later, they're like, huh? And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I have 3 advisors too. I have because my major's cross-schooled, so I have 2 advisors from each school, and then my overall advisor. It's very interesting. But one of them I hate. One of them I love. The other one, I don't know who she is.
That's me.
What's your cross school? Is it Wagner?
It's with public health, like graduate school.
We should explain what all of our schools are, because you might not know.
Oh yeah. So I guess
like,
I will start. I am CAS, which is Art and Science, College of Art and Science, which is the most normal like college anywhere.
It's the biggest one. It's like the most broad. It's the liberal arts.
Liberal
majors.
arts, yeah. And then it's a cross school with Graduate School of Public Health, because I am a global public health major, but with the sociology. But sociology is from Art and Science, and yeah, that's my school.
Oh, I'll just tag on to next Marty. I'm in CAS too. And I'm international relations, so I'm just one of like the liberal arts majors, but then I'm also part of the pre-law advisors. So like when my freshman year, we had cohorts. Everyone like in my cohort was like pre-law or pre-med for some reason.
Tag off that because...
Just explain both of ours because we're both the exact same thing.
Yeah, because, so interesting facts about NYU, if you did not know, you cannot be on the quote-unquote, you don't have to do anything for the pre-law track, but you can't have it on your major unless you are in CAS. Which also constitutes a lot of like scholarships you can get from undergrad to law school. You cannot apply for or join any like clubs, or you can do clubs, but you can't do any like school programs unless you're in CAS, which I think is discriminatory. But because you can have any undergraduate major to be in law school, so I think it's stupid that they do that, but whatever. I am in Steinhardt, and I've been in like every school at NYU because a girl is undecisive. But I ended up in Steinhardt. Me and Sarah are the same major. We're media culture and communications. It's the bomb, and it's very special to NYU, and it's a very not necessarily broad, but you can cover a lot of ground because you're required to do 2 specializations, which can be like audiovisual culture, which is like TV and
entertainment, basically.
Yeah,
I guess
it's like more of the technical side of it though. There's entertainment, there's politics, etc. So we're both entertainment and politics. And I have a politics minor, so it kind of helped me with that to just like cross my classes. And if I'm being honest, I enjoy my politics classes in MCC so much more than the ones in CAS, because CAS ones are really boring as hell, and the professors are old as hell, and the content is racist as hell. So I enjoy MCC because it's seeing politics from like diverse perspectives. So if you're interested in that, I would push you to look at other options.
I also get so many MCC people. I don't know if it's
because it's the bomb.
There's a huge portion, like MCC is a huge major. Like if you are thinking about going into MCC, your first like year and a half, you're gonna have class with probably a bajillion infinity other people. Like it's insane. It's everybody.
I just was gonna jump in quickly. This is like super specific, but I was just gonna say to anyone who was like thinking about NYU, like IR, international relations, the thing I loved about it is that like you're required to study abroad, which like NYU is so big on.
That's so sick. One of my favorite things about
That's
NYU,
actually my pro, because that would be the only thing that like lured me in. But then guess what? I'm not going abroad
because there was COVID.
Sorry, there's COVID. So
there's a global MCC program you apply to your freshman year, I believe, where you do I think 2 years abroad, and in those 2 years you go to 4 different countries. And you study how like your major, like whether it's politics, entertainment, whatever in media, is applied in those countries, and it's like a huge deal if you get it, blah blah blah. But yeah, it's cool.
I think the liberal arts or liberal studies, right, allow you to like
GLS.
Actually, it can be LS too if you choose to do a first year study away.
Yeah.
But if you're sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I have a lot of friends in like global liberal studies, like they're in my classes now, and it's super cool because they all like get to go abroad for like when I was like abroad, like it was their second year abroad and they were juniors. They're like, oh, this is my second year. I'm gonna do 3 out of my 4 years like abroad.
I think abroad is a main thing at NYU because a lot of people meet their friends. Like
For every
like,
major, yeah.
True.
That's one con I'll say about NYU, and this is not even at NYU itself, it's at its students that makes me so mad, is that so many kids, especially in CAS, I've seen CS and Stern, that look down on kids in the LS program like they're idiots. And the funny thing is, probably the smartest people I've met at NYU in general have been in LS. And usually it's kids who have a lot stronger writing and reading skills than they do like math and science. Because LS classes are extremely written based, which I feel like a lot of kids in the other programs wouldn't like because they're more like testing students. But if you're applying to NYU, I heavily suggest going through the LS program because you're in it for like a year and a half if you go in school like that. But I transferred into LS, transferred to Steinhardt because it's easier than doing a direct school transfer.
That's so bizarre.
Because I was only in their first semester and a half. Yeah.
It's so bizarre.
But for me, I love writing and reading. And so I didn't have to take writing the essay. I didn't have to take these little culture and context classes. I took these sick history courses. They were all writing based, which I literally loved. And I love the kids in my classes. But if you're doing that, I suggest you apply for it, but just beware that a lot of students, especially in CAS and Stern, just have a lot of shit to say about kids in LS. Like they're looking down at them, which I've heard a lot. And that always made me super mad because I feel like I've met smarter kids in LS than I have in local schools.
I've never actually personally heard that, but going back to what you said about like all these required courses, like text and ideas, culture and context, expressive culture, writing the essay. What else do we have?
You know, there's actually less cores now.
Oh,
I didn't take a single
What the
video
fuck?
You guys didn't have to take those whole
you don't have
CAS
to
courses
take them.
No,
We have
yes, you do.
6
It's a, you have the
reading
same,
and writing
every
classes.
school has the same course.
But you can get out of them that we can't. Like you can, like text ideas, you can't get out of period in CAS.
I got out text ideas
Yeah,
taking AP Euro in high school.
You can't get out of it in
That's the
CAS
same
at all.
thing.
It's different like
But
things you can get out
I was
of.
saying, because they just would be closed by the time we like register, and there'll be
So
stupid
difficult.
classes that I'm not personally interested in. But I was thinking, why don't they just require people to fucking take ethics so more people become
Yeah.
better people?
Like
In college, why not like those like useful classes that would be actually great for humanity, but like we have to learn about what's yours?
right now I'm
Performance.
taking performance and it's all like reading Aristotle, which is like fine, like, but it's like not me. Like I can't do performance. I'm not good at it. I have to write a playwright. I have to write a play script. I have to present it. I have no artistic ability. That was the only class open. So I'm in this class, which is like 30% participation. I have to speak in it. I have to do all these like Greek mythology things, and that is just not my strong suit at all. And that was all that was open, and I have to like graduate. So I had to take the class. And it's just like so awful, and I like dread every moment, and I'm like, why am I paying this much money for a class? Like I dread so much.
But I think it balances out because although like, so all the colleges have the same core curriculum you have to take through CAS, but the difference is like Steinhardt, you can take different classes to get like to satisfy your requirements that are through Steinhardt. So they're like more catered to your major. Or like, I know I got out of one by taking AP Euro in high school, but the caveat to that is CAS takes a lot more AP classes than any other school. So like if you're taking APs in high school and you want them to actually count for something, it might doesn't really take that many in general, but out of all the schools, CS takes the most. So I wouldn't waste your time taking that many because you're not gonna get a lot of them waived if you're at other schools.
But for CAS though, like if you're, say for example, I was a bio major and I had pre-health track for freshman year, and I had taken AP physics, AP chemistry, and AP bio, all in high school, but I can't get them validated because they are my major classes.
Yeah.
So
That's
I
so
have
annoying.
to take the fucking intro classes, even though I already took it in college or in high school. So I only got one like AP Psych class validated, and that counts as my like social science.
You hear that siren?
Yeah. Yeah, I got like 1 out of
Cute.
like 12 AP classes accepted. It was AP Euro, and I was like, how did I kill myself in high school for this?
I think a big thing with like NYU is also like they do this thing where like they double up. They won't double up on classes. So like for my major, I have to take a certain number of Spanish or like language classes. Like I have to go pretty advanced to show like I'm fluent. And then I was like, okay, I may as well minor in Spanish at the same time. But then they're like, since you're using your Spanish classes to fulfill your major requirement, they don't fulfill the minor requirement.
Yeah.
That's the same for MCC with like any type of like CES courses. So you have to take CA class in CAS for 16 electives of your MCC major, but they cannot count towards your minor. So I did all of mine for my politics minor, and none of them count. So I was like,
Because you know why though? They just want your money.
they want more money. Yeah.
Period.
NYU's a scam. Like I think as much as I am really lucky I go to this school and everything, I think tuition is crazy. Like earlier today we were interviewing our this guest for our podcast who's amazing. Go check out our podcast. We were interviewing her and she was saying how like college, the society as a whole right now puts so much pressure on going to college and getting a degree on certain things that like you don't necessarily need a degree for to have like a natural talent in. For example, like I personally, and this is such like a, I guess an off-brand opinion, but I personally think that like my major is something that like I have a gift for. Like I don't really need to go to classes and I don't really need to learn specifically how to like interact with people and social media market and stuff like that. Like I feel like that's what I do now. Like I already make money doing that. So like I don't necessarily think I need a bachelor's degree in order to be successful, but like in this society I do, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it helps in like the things that I feel like there's two types of classes. There's ones that are strictly just to get through school that are stupid, like some of these cultures.
I guess that's more what I was referring to for sure.
And there's some that are like, they may not pertain to my major, but I learned so much about just like being a human being and not
super
sucking.
Interesting.
Which are like just very different. But one thing I just don't like about NYU in terms of tuition is that some schools cost more than others, which makes a lot of sense. Because like Tisch, what you get in Tisch and what you get in City, that's very different. Tisch has a lot of like stage productions, and you get one-on-one training and like lighting and things like that you have to pay for. Obviously not on Zoom, that's a whole different story. But I do hate that schools like Stern and Tisch and things like that get so much more resources and personalized study. Like they get like 15 advisors, they get like networking events, they get breakfasts every morning, they get their own business cards sent to them. And the kids who get sent are like, what the fuck are we getting? A t-shirt?
Literally, like a water bottle made out of plastic. Like,
also, Stern is our business school for people who like don't know. But yeah, it's kind of like unfair because like, like I guess the tuition like differs by like 1,000 or 2,000, but like they get access to buildings that we can't even enter.
Oh yeah, they're
like,
so nice.
What's so special about it that I can't literally I do be like no if you try and go in. And I was like, is it really that serious?
Yeah.
Like you don't have that many people. Like CA is huge. It's the largest college in the whole entirety of NYU. So I don't know why we only have one building.
Yeah.
Also, it's just crazy because like NYU funnels like through a giant, large, sparkly pink funnel money into buildings like the Stern building and buildings like that, like just like Kimmel and like Bobst, and all those buildings are like really majestic and awesome and like they look pretty and stuff. Like we have teachers that need to be paid, professors, and like students. We're in so much debt, and like all of these like even faculty, staff, like no one's getting paid enough money yet. We're putting all of this emphasis on schools that like aren't any better than other schools in NYU. So like schools meaning like sub schools, so like Stern. They're literally physically, tangibly placing this one school higher than like my school, and it's kind of annoying.
And it creates a hella big ego. Like
yeah,
you cannot tell those kids anything. So new kids in Tisch though. Like I was in Tisch for literally like 2 weeks and I was like, hell no, get me out. Once half their parents own the film industry and they're like, I don't need to do my work. My daddy owns like Universal Studios. And I'm like, okay.
Like, and obviously like I feel like we've been critiquing NYU this entire time, but like honestly I would never have chosen like any other school I applied to over NYU because I have like no regrets because I get to live in like the best city in the world and I like love my friends. And like I do like I hate my core classes, but I love like my classes for my major, and I feel like I've learned so much more about the world, which like I didn't know before. And I love like the diversity of NYU, and like you still have a community in this major city.
Yeah,
it's true. Did you guys see the picture I sent about like the new building on Mercer Street?
Yeah,
no.
They've been building that thing for so long.
It's so big
it's
and
a
like
gym for what sports?
But it's an NYU building.
It's gym, classrooms, and a huge pool, indoor pool.
Oh,
it's basically Palladium Part 2.
I was about to say that!
For what sports, honey? And there's going to be like residences in there too.
Honestly, I'm glad because the NYU gyms be packed. Like when the gyms were open, they were always so crowded.
But it's specifically for sports though, like sports training. But like what sports?
NYU.
Also,
I just want you to know, other schools other than Stern and Tisch and not athletes are very angry.
But wait, before we end, because we're getting up on that time, let's all say one really quick thing that we love about NYU so that we don't sound like actual cunts. Go.
Well, we already said like I love like yeah, like the
But just
diversity
to end
of
on a good
NYU.
note. Yeah.
And I honestly, like, am so grateful for everyone I've met at NYU because I think everyone's super driven and everyone, like, has different aspirations. Like, all my friends' aspirations are completely different. And, like, it's nice to have people, like, driven around you because it motivates you. So it's, like, not the typical, like, party school, but, like, obviously, like, pre-pandemic, like, there's still parties and stuff. And, like, I think you still have, like, a lot of fun. But everyone's, like, super, super motivated.
I think for me though, it's not like entirely what NYU gave me, but like just
What you
about
made
the
of it?
location. Yeah,
Oh,
and how we made it.
location, yeah.
It would just be the college experience is completely different from normal schools, which I love. So.
Yeah.
I feel like a Venn diagram of like experiences and opportunities when it comes to like going out to like these cool restaurants and hanging out with your friends and going to concerts and like having cool internships in the city. And then like the location, because East Side be boppin', or Lower East Side / East Village, whatever. And then I forgot the other one. I guess it's the people. And I really like my classes, and like I have crazy cool professors and things like that, and like just resources that you wouldn't get anywhere else because of like the muy rico that the school is. So I feel like all those things combined, I like not really NYU, more of like NYU happened to like give me those things. But the school is good sometimes. I just have, obviously I think it's important to hold them accountable for things.
Yeah, for CS, we don't even have like that much resources, which I don't love, but
Yeah, you have to really like try on your own, and like it's hard to get like an internship, especially one that's like even like stipend is hard. Like, damn.
Yeah. I think my favorite thing, I'll like do something different. I'll do something pertaining to academics, because this is our academics episode, which I kind of like that we're separating it because there's just so much to talk about. My favorite thing academically about NYU is 100% that like, even though the gen eds are super annoying, the core classes that I'm taking right now that pertain specifically to politics and entertainment, like for example, I'm taking a class right now called Media Audiences. So it's like how the world sees media rather than from like someone who works in media standpoint, which is like what I do. So it's nice to see it from like the opposite perspective. And like just, I don't know, learning about cool, like weird, wonky things like that just makes me so happy because it's just stuff that like anybody would be interested in. So that's my favorite thing, that like my core classes are just super sick. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening or watching this episode. We'll see you next week on YouTube, and we'll see you every Thursday on iHeart, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure to follow our TikTok at Crying in Public Podcast, and make sure to hit the subscribe button here if you haven't already. Leave us a comment, like it, give it a thumbs up, share it with people. Instagram at Crying in Public Podcast too. Can't forget the Instagram. And just love us in general because we love you. And have a great night.
I'm gonna be dead the buttons over here.